I cut my some lines from the
Yes.
speech.
Where is that now? Yes, sir. Sir, shall we start?
Yes, yes, we can
Wait,
start.
Yes. Okay. Now, Saurav will talk about migration. So, Saurav, start your speech.
okay. Thank you, Ashish Bhaiya. At first, a very good evening, the guest, teacher, and the rising star of Accomplice, and wishes you a happy Independence Day. My topic is migration. I collected some data and information from the Google and newspaper. There is many type of migration like birds migration, animal migration, and human migration, extra, etc., etc. But today I am speaking about only the human migration. Human migration, the permanent changes of residence by an individual or group. It excluded such moments as migrants, labor, commuting, and tourism, all of which are transitory in nature. Migration fall into several broad categories. First category is internal and international migration. May be distinguished within any country. There are moments or individual and families from our area, from one area to another area, like example from rural area to the cities, and this is distinct from movements from one country to another. Second migration may be voluntary or forced. Most voluntary migration where internal or external is undertaken in search of better economic opportunities or housing. Forced migration usually involve people who have been expelled by government during war or other political upheavals, or who have been forcibly transported or as slaves or prisoners. Intermediate between these two categories are voluntary migration or refugees fleeing war, famine, or natural disasters. Human migration within recorded history have transformed the entire aspects of lands and continents and the racial, ethnic, and linguistic composition of their population. The map of Europe, for example, is the product of several major early migration involving the Germanic people, the Slavs, and the Turks, among others. And in the course of 400 years, from the late 16th through the 20th century, the Americas, Australia, etc., the northern half of Asia, and parts of Africa were colonized by European migrants. Now I am talking about the migrants labor, casual and unskilled workers who move about systematically from one region to another, offering their service on a temporary, usually seasonal basic. Migrants labor in various forms in found in South Africa, the Middle East, Western Europe, North America, and India also. Because of some reason, some general causes and work conditions, labor are helpless to migration. In Europe and the Middle East, migrants mm, labor usually has been recruited for urban rather the agricultural employment, and involves longer periods of residence. In North America, migrants labor tends to be hired from farm work primarily. At a harvest time, the demand of agriculture migrants labor stem for the seasonal nature of harvesting. In the northern hemisphere, migrants labor move seasonally from south to north following the harvest, while the pattern is reserved in southern hemispheres. Most of the agriculture workers move in established pattern with these general directions, and their work um, typically involves tasks and manual, repetitive, and easily learned. Some people thinks or some country thinks the migration is happening only in India. No, it's wrong. Migrants labor around the world. Pattern of migrants labor on other continents different substantially from those in North America, with urban employment accounting from a much greater share of such work. Migrants labor was used on a massive scale in South Africa, where black workers were drawn from rural area to work in cities in which they were denied the right of residency. This determined migrancy was a cornerstone of the system in the second half of the 20th century, which forced millions of black workers to settle between their improvised homelands and the cities, where they enjoyed only the minimal rights common to the most migrant worker. Apartheid was ended in South Africa with the ripple of social legislation in 1990 to 1991 and the ratifications of a new constitution in 99. But government will have to take steps to bring back migrants, like farm activities, small industries, proper training, good education in their homelands. That's all. Now I am stopping my words according to the respect of time with few words, like with some Hindi lines about migration, like रोती रही वो चौखट पे अपनी, जब विदा शहर को मैं हुआ, काबिल बनकर लौटा एक दिन, तब उनका घर भी टूटा हुआ.
एक बार फिर से
And now,
साउंड.
thanks to
हेलो. नहीं, वो
yes sir,
साउंड ठीक से क्लियर नहीं आया. हाँ, ये लास्ट
Once
दो
more.
लाइन.
रोती रही वो चौखट पे अपनी, रोती रही वो चौखट पे अपनी, जब विदा शहर को मैं हुआ, काबिल बनकर लौटा एक दिन अपने गांव, तब घर भी उसका टूटा हुआ.
अच्छा.
बहुत अच्छा है भैया.
Thanks to sir for
अब समझ नहीं पा रहे हैं कि थैंक यू बोले कि वाह वाह.
Special thanks to Amit sir for joining us, sorry, not joining, for giving us extra knowledge about English and so many things. And one more special thanks to Subhasis sir and Sanjeev sir for joining us and giving us priceless knowledge. Thank you sir, and thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Saurabh. You have delivered very nice speech.
मेरी आखिरी लाइन के लिए मार्क नहीं मिले.
Okay, now it's my turn, and
So let me invite Ashish. Okay. to
Everyone is
deliver
invite
his
Ashish.
speech. Yeah. On behalf of accomplice, yeah, we invite Ashish.
No sir, at first a round of applause for Ashish bhaiya.
That we'll do later.
बस बहुत हो गया.
Okay.
Our respected guests, Subhasis sir and Sanjeev sir, and our dear Amit sir, and my all friends, a special good evening to all of you. My topic is India-China conflict. We have been hearing news regularly about India and China conflict since May 2020. But the history of India, but the history of this struggle is not currently. This is very old. Due to the high mountains between India and China, the border between them could never be fixed. For this reason, there is always conflicted between them. India is a democratic country. We believe the theory of Vasudev Kutumbakam. Despite being the fourth largest army in the world, we don't attack first. We are always ready to help every country. But China is a communist country, and China follows expansionist rule policy, and China is currently embroiled in a border dispute with 17 countries. Not only India, but also countries like Japan, Vietnam, Cambodia, Taiwan, etc., etc., are always troubled by this nefarious act of China. China has never been a trustworthy country. We got independence in 1947, and the uh, the civil war within China ended in 1949, and the Communist Party government has formed in China. The Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, tried to establish a good relationship with China, and they gave the slogan of Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai. When United Nations offered India for permanent membership, then Pandit Nehru given it to China, and he felt that this would strengthen the relationship of India between India and China. But Pandit Nehru was deeply shocked in 1959 when he came to know that China made a road in Aksai Chin. India considered Aksai Chin as a part of our country. This action of China was strongly opposed by Indian government. Then China attacked India from both sides, Arunachal Pradesh and Ladakh in 1962. We considered China as our friend, and there was absolutely no hope of this attack from him. So we was not ready for the war, and we lost lots of part of Aksai Chin. Then a boundary line, which we call LAC, was drawn between India and China. Since then, there have been several minor incidents on the LAC between India and China. When all world was suffering from COVID-19 in April and May 2020, and all the countries become aggressive on China due to the origin of COVID-19 from the city of Wuhan. So he adopted his expansionist policy to divert the attention of the world, and it sparked a border dispute with many countries. Chinese Population Army (PLA) made his temporary post in LAC inside the border of India. He occupied Galwan Valley, Pangong So, and many more places. So Indian Army also started opposing this action, and conflict started between them. But due to 1993 agreement, the army of both countries cannot use weapons. So there were frequent reports of scuffle between the armies of the both countries. And on the night of June 15, 20 of our soldiers died, and 50 soldiers badly affected in this struggle. After hearing about martyrdom of Indian soldier, people started agitation all over country against China. China is earning approximately 20% of his GDP from India. So I think from this conflict, not only India but also China will affected. And after this conflict, after this struggle, people started opposing and boycotting China's product. There are several contract has been cancelled by Indian government and many state government. Now we also listened about that BCCI also cancelled the Vivo phone as a sponsored of IPL, and in 4-5 months, our Indian government cut out the import of Chinese product, and Indian government started to give preference to our national product, and our Prime Minister said one sentence that local for vocal. And after that conflict, we are self dependent on ourselves, and we started so many small things. and I think I hope after some time we will do some better in the sector of that thing which we came from China. So I'm concluding my topic here, and I wish that everything will be fine after some time. Thank you.
It was a very good speech, Ashish. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
now let me hand over this to you again. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to call Bhavish Kumar for his speech. His topic is Bihar flood, and I think it is very sensible topic. So Bhavish, speak. Start your topic.
थैंक यू आशीष जी। मैं अपना स्पीच हिंदी में आप लोगों के सामने प्रस्तुत करूंगा। सबसे पहले गुड इवनिंग ऑल ऑफ यू। मेरे प्यारे सर अमित सर एंड चीफ गेस्ट सुभाषिष सर, संजीव सर एंड आशीष जी, जिन्होंने मुझे इस प्रोग्राम के लिए कनेक्ट किया है, उनको मैं थैंक यू बोलना चाहूँगा। मैं अपना जो स्पीच है मैंने एक कविता लिखी है, तो उस कविता के माध्यम से मैं अपना स्पीच शुरू करना चाहूँगा। तो थोड़ा सा यदि गलती हो जाए तो आप लोग उस पर ध्यान नहीं दीजिएगा, क्योंकि फूल में पराग होता है, गीत में भी राग होता है। मेरे गलती पे ध्यान मत दीजिएगा, क्योंकि चमकते चांद में भी दाग होता है। मेरा जो कविता है, जो मैंने लिखा है, हाँ हाँ मैं बिहार हूँ। मैं अपने बिहार के बारे में, क्योंकि मैं बिहार के भागलपुर जिले से बिलोंग करता हूँ, तो मैं अपने बिहार के बारे में, मेरा बिहार का क्या गौरव रहा और अभी हम किस स्थिति में हैं, मैं उस चीज का वर्णन करूंगा आप लोग के सामने, तो उस पर ध्यान दीजिएगा। हाँ हाँ मैं बिहार हूँ, नालंदा और विक्रमशिला का गौरव इतिहास हूँ, फिर भी आर्थिक रूप से पिछड़ा हुआ राज्य हूँ। हाँ हाँ मैं बिहार हूँ। गुप्त मौर्य अशोक का साम्राज्य हूँ, फिर भी सबसे ज्यादा बेईमान भ्रष्टाचारियों वाला राज्य हूँ। हाँ हाँ मैं बिहार हूँ। IAS IPS से भरा हुआ भंडार हूँ, फिर भी साक्षरता में सबसे फिसला हुआ राज्य हूँ। हाँ हाँ मैं बिहार हूँ। राजगीर गया की खूबसूरती, वाल्मीकि नगर का उद्यान हूँ, फिर भी सबसे ज्यादा गंदगी भरा हुआ पटना और कटिहार हूँ। हाँ हाँ मैं बिहार हूँ। आर्यभट्ट, राजेंद्र, दिनकर जैसे ज्ञानियों का जन्म स्थान हूँ, फिर भी देश में अनपढ़ मुख्यमंत्री देने वाला भी राज्य हूँ। हाँ हाँ मैं बिहार हूँ। बुद्ध और महावीर को ज्ञान देने वाला एशिया का प्रकाश हूँ, फिर भी बाढ़ और बेरोजगारी से परेशान राज्य हूँ। हाँ हाँ मैं बिहार हूँ। ये कैसी विडंबना और कैसा किस्मत पाई है, जहां जाऊं वहां लोग कहते हैं अरे ये तो बिहारी है, फिर भी गर्व से कहता हूं मैं बिहार से हूं और मैं दिल से बिहारी हूं। अब हम आप लोगों के बीच अपना स्पीच जो कि बाढ़ से रिलेटेड है, मैं उसको प्रस्तुत करूंगा। हम लोग देखते हैं कि हर साल बिहार में बाढ़ आ जाती है। आखिर इसका क्या कारण हो सकता है कि बिहार में हर साल बाढ़ क्यों आती है, और अन्य भी स्टेट हैं जहां पूरी दुनिया अपने आर्थिक स्थिति को सुधारने में लगे हुए, भारत के और अन्य सारे राज्य की स्थितियां बहुत अच्छी है, फिर भी हमारा राज्य इतना पिछड़ा क्यों? हर साल बाढ़ की स्थिति क्यों आती है? हर साल न्यूज में सुनने को मिलता है कि बांध टूट गया, बांध टूट गया। ऐसा कौन सा बांध बनाया जाता है हर साल जो टूट जाता है? ऐसे कितनों लाखों करोड़ों रुपये सरकार को चूना लगा के बांध बनाया जाता है और हर साल वो बांध टूट जाती है। ऐसा कौन सा बांध बनाते हैं वो लोग? लाखों लोग बेघर हो जाते हैं। एक आंकड़ा के अनुसार 75 लाख लोग हर साल 75 लाख लोग हर साल बेघर होते हैं, बेरोजगार हो जाते हैं, अपने घरों से दूर चले जाते हैं। कितने लोग जान गंवा देते हैं, फिर भी हम लोग बहुत ही हिम्मत से काम लेते हैं। हर साल इस आपदा को झेलते हुए भी फिर भी हम लोग हिम्मत से काम लेते हैं। किसानों का फसल बर्बाद हो जाता है, हर साल किसान का फसल, अच्छा खिला हुआ फसल बर्बाद हो जाता है, फिर भी हम लोग मजबूती से डटकर इसका सामना करते हैं। हर साल सरकार मुआवजे के रूप में 6,000 रुपया 2 बोरा चावल गेहूं देके अपने पल्ले झाड़ लेते हैं, कोई आने वाले भविष्य के बारे में नहीं सोचता कि आखिर बिहार का क्या स्थिति होगा। यदि हम एक सही मायने में सही तरीके से सुनियोजित योजना बनाकर इस पे काम करें तो ये आने वाला जो हर साल बाढ़ है इस पे हम गति रोक लगा सकते हैं। हर साल हवाई सर्वेक्षण हवाई बातें करके लोग चले जाते हैं अच्छे से, लेकिन कभी इसके बारे में ज्यादातर लोग सोचते नहीं है। जो भी पॉलिटिशियन है, जो भी बड़े बड़े लोग हैं, कभी इसके बारे में कोई नई योजना नहीं बनाते हैं। बेरोजगारी की समस्या इतनी हो जाती है कि लोगों को यहाँ से पलायन करना होता है, दूसरे राज्यों में जाके वहाँ के ताने बाने सुनने पड़ते हैं, फिर भी लोग अपनी हिम्मत से यहाँ लोग मजबूती से खड़े रहते हैं। बहुत सारी योजनाएं आई, जैसे नदी जोड़ो योजना, इस योजना के तहत ऐसी योजना बनाई जानी चाहिए कि ताकि जिस नदी में ज्यादा पानी हो जाए तो उस नदी का पानी दूसरे नदी में कन्वर्ट कर दिया जाए ताकि वो नदी में बाढ़ की स्थिति कम हो जाए। एक ऐसी मजबूत बांध बनाई जाए जिससे कि हर साल वो टूट ना पाए। जो नदियों में कटाव होती है तो उससे गाद बन जाता है, तो गाद को निकालने की प्रक्रिया हो, नदी के किनारे पेड़ पौधे लगाने की प्रक्रिया हो, उस पर खर्च किया जाना चाहिए, न कि हर साल मुआवजे के रूप में 6,000 और गेहूं दे के इस मामले से पल्ला झाड़ लेना चाहिए। इसलिए मैं इन सब बातों से मैं अपने स्पीच को समाप्त करता हूं। आशा करता हूं कि आप लोग को ये अच्छा लगा होगा। थैंक यू आशीष जी और थैंक यू सर। सब लोगों को मेरा प्रणाम और हैप्पी इंडिपेंडेंस डे। थैंक यू।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद भविष्य। It was nice speech and nice information about Bihar. Your poem was outstanding. Yeah, sir.
बहुत बढ़िया पोएम था, बहुत मार्मिक और रियलिटी। हाँ, बहुत अच्छा लगा, स्पीच भी अच्छा था। थैंक यू भविष्य फॉर योर पार्टिसिपेशन।
थैंक यू सर।
Now I would like to call Mili and her topic is new education policy, NEP. So Mili, start your topic.
Yes, Bhaiya. First, thank you Amit sir for giving this opportunity and our honorable guest to give time. So a heartily good morning to one and all. Wishing you a happy Independence Day. May our country progress in everywhere and in everything. So I, Mili Sharma, present here today to deliver a speech on the topic of New Education Policy 2020. Recently, the Union Cabinet has approved the new education policy on Wednesday, that is 29 July, with an aim to introduce several changes in Indian education system from the school to college level. The policy is based on the pillars of access, equality, quality, affordability, accountability, and will transform India into a vibrant knowledge hub. The National Education Policy 2020 aims at making India into a global knowledge superpower. The Cabinet has also approved the renaming of Ministry of Human Resource Development to the Ministry of Education. The National Education Policy proposed to change the school's curricular structure from the current 10+2 class 1 to 10 of general education, followed by 2 years of higher secondary school with specialized subject with a 5+3+3+4 structure, bringing children from ages 3 to 5 years within the formal education system for the first time, and ensuring curricular continuity in the last 4 years. A mission for foundational literacy and numeracy, free breakfast being added to free lunches in government school, vocational education along with internships for class 6, and proposed redesign of board examination are some other major intensives for school education. The ministry feels that an increase in government funding of education to 6% of GDP will be sufficient to cover the financial implication of national education policy. Concluding, I hope the government will be able to implement all the policies as planned. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Ashish.
Yeah, thank you, Millie. It was nice speech. And okay, now I would like to call Gaurav sir, and Gaurav sir will will talk about COVID-19 effect on banking sector. So Gaurav sir, it's over to you. Start your.
Thank you, Ashish.
Yes.
Thank you, Ashish. Dear Sandeep, Suhas sir and Sanjeev sir and Amit sir, all participant friends wish you a warm, happy Independence Day, evening of eve of evening in Independence Day. I want to talk about some words in banking sector affected due to COVID-19. COVID-19 affected almost every sector globally. Indian banking sector badly affected by COVID-19 pandemic. RBI said that recovering was affected in second quarter due to moratorium on loan repayment. Result profitability profitability was impacted in second quarter. The impact of COVID-19 different on various territories based on its category of zones such as red, orange, and green. The third quarter also may be impacted due to lockdown. During lockdown, banks work half of strength and provide only basic services, and rural branches are also work in alternate days and only for basic services. Thanks to technology, which is provide backbone for Indian economy to some services in online. The RBI says that hopeful profitability will improve during third quarter of current financial year. Its possibility is subject to restore of economic economical activities. Bank also confirmed that there is no liquidity concentration because of timely measures taken by the RBI and government. The RBI had also opened its window to provide liquidity for MSME and other borrowers. Bank says demand for product service may improve during the third and last quarter of current financial year, resulting Indian banking sector hardly hit by pandemic COVID-19. We hope will recover soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Ashish.
sir.
Nice, Gaurav Bhaiya, you have tried very well. I am very happy, and I think sir will also very happy
Oh yes,
to
definitely.
listen you.
It was
And
a
I faced this type of occasion first time.
no, it was a
yes, yes,
surprise for me. The surprise of the
yes.
day.
It's a
Very
surprise
nice.
for
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
everyone.
so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
It
all
was
of
very
participants
nice.
and friends. Thank you, sir.
Okay, now Kishore, are you ready? Are you here?
Yes, Bhaiya. Yes, Bhaiya.
Okay. Now I would like to invite Kishore uh, to speak about e-learning advantage and disadvantage. Kishore, now
Yes,
your
Bhaiya.
turn. Yeah, start.
Good afternoon, everybody. I thanks Amit sir and Ashish Bhaiya for giving the opportunity. And my topic is e-learning and what are the advantages and disadvantages. First of all, what is e-learning? E-learning is an electronic learning, which is nowadays are becoming very popular. And for almost next 2 years, we should be next online, because the if vaccine comes means if we can go to the schools and colleges. If vaccine is not coming, so we should online, and we should habituated to this new process, so that everyone will be able to learn. Everyone will be able to learn. So we should habituate e-learning also has the advantages and disadvantages. Advantages are it is easily available to everybody, but it takes some time to habituate it to new culture. And its disadvantages are there are lots of deviation in internet. If you connected to one learning means you will get deviated to another like Facebook or anything. We will not able to concentrate, and if we spend so much time on the computer screen or any other, we may get back pain or eye strain. There are so many health hazards, and the government should also take care so that poor people who are not able to uh, not, not able to afford the tab or any laptop, they should provide, and see that all the people are learning equally, and whoever the online whoever the organizing online classes should be very patient and practical so that they can learn step by step. uh, Step by step e-learning is a very good method if the students use it properly, and if they listen very carefully. E-learning is the best method, so we should habituate it to the culture of a new thing. Hello.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
please continue.
yes,
Please
over.
Yes.
Over bhaiya.
Okay.
sir.
Thank you, Kishore.
Thank you.
Sir, I think one
Yeah, we can take.
candidate can also, yes.
Yes.
So now next turn is Vicky. So I would like to invite Mr. Vicky, and he will talk about self-dependent India. This word self-dependent India we are listening, I think, from 10 to 15 days. So okay, we know what is self-dependent India. Yeah, Vicky, start.
Thank you, Asif. Hello, I am audible.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Asif. Honorable Sir and Chief Guest, good evening to everyone, and Happy Independence Day to all of you. The theme of my speech, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Atmanirbhar Bharat is the vision of the PM of India, Narendra Modi, of making India a self-reliant nation. The first mention of this came in the form of the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan or Self-Reliant India mission during the announcement of the coronavirus pandemic related economic package on 12 May 2020. As you might know, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has announced 20 lakh crore rupees for self-reliant India. Our PM said that be vocal for the local. It means buy and promote local product and brand. जैसा कि हम लोग जानते हैं, कोई भी प्रोडक्ट तुरंत ब्रांड नहीं बन जाता, उसे प्रमोट किया जाता है, उसे यूज किया जाता है, उसका डिमांड होता है, तभी वो कोई ब्रांड बनता है. तो हम लोगों को एज ए इंडियन होने के नाते हम लोग को अपना लोकल प्रोडक्ट यूज करना चाहिए, जिससे कि वो एक ब्रांड बन जाए, जिससे हम लोग आत्मनिर्भर बने. ग्लोबल ब्रांड दैट एग्जिस्ट टुडे were also local once, but when people being supporting them, they become global. India's 5 pillars of self-reliance. First, economy that will bring not just incremental change, but a quantum jump. And second, infrastructure that will become modern India's symbol. Third, system that will be technology driven and not based on policy of past century. For demography that is our strength will serve as a source of energy for self-reliant India. And fifth, demand and supply cycle of India will boost the economy and prove the power to harness its full potential. The Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan economic package is expected to ease the difficulties of migrant labor and farmers who have suffered the most during the lockdown. It is also expected to support the middle class who pay their tax on time and help grow the home industry, including cottage industry, small scale industry, and MSME that proved livelihood to cross the people. Especially focus on micro, small, and medium enterprises. जैसा कि हम लोग जानते हैं अभी कुछ दिन पहले मंडे 10 अगस्त 2020 को आत्मनिर्भर भारत की तरफ से सबमरीन केबल का काम किया गया था जो कि चेन्नई को अंडमान निकोबार से कनेक्ट किया गया जो कि अप्रोक्स 2300 किलोमीटर का डिस्टेंस था वो तो हम लोग इस तरफ आत्मनिर्भर भारत की तरफ धीरे धीरे आगे बढ़ते जा रहे हैं एंड upcoming days we are trying to make self-reliant nation. In conclusion, the past COVID-19 era में user in unprecedented opportunity proved that implementation deficiency is adequately addressed. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Vicky. Your speech was nice and very good. So, sir, can we join again, sir?
Yeah, I think I'm really very sorry that all of you have to rejoin,
but
and rejoin.
But only one candidate is raised for.
Yeah, I think this is the last rejoining session.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we have only a few participants left. So can we just rejoin?
Yes.
Thank you. Ashish, please.
Yes.